here, but like the less, I would say the less educated they are in how to um, have money work for money. Most of the time, they only know it's one concept is work hard for your money. That's it. There's no other way about it. Anything else is too much, is too good to be true. It doesn't exist. Don't risk it. And I know if you're hanging around. Hey everybody, we're back and we're back, and I wanted to share some insights and thoughts that I had the last couple of days. I took a couple of days off, and I really wanted just to shut it down and just kind of reevaluate where I really wanted to sit down and share my journey, and kind of like where I feel that most of us kind of hold ourselves back, right? Hold ourselves back in life in any type of situation, whether it be mentally, financially, or even like opportunity wise, where we kind of don't see what's in front of us or forget about certain things, and we kind of just walk by opportunities every single day, myself included. But lately, I've always had an incline to like always love economics, right? I even studied, I did my bachelor's in that, and I kind of always really fascinated me on just how our lives can be kind of, they can be easier or maybe more opportunities when you have a obviously economic situation. And I think there's no more time proof where we're now, where we're in a situation, with the situation we're in now, right? For the most part, the individuals and people that have been affected by this whole situation where everybody's been, let go, and jobs are kind of like being basically disappearing, are going to affect for the most, basically the lower income jobs. Most likely, most of them are the ones going to be terminated or merged and made into like hybrid jobs where somebody's doing two people's jobs. And being myself working a lot of these jobs throughout my last years that I've been working, they're probably one of the hardest jobs, the most labor-intensive jobs, and probably not adequate pay for what you do. But at the end of the day, the most individuals that are doing these jobs, you're doing it because you have to put some food on the table and you're providing for your family, right? For the most part. Everybody that I've met in this industries are, that's what they're mostly there for. And it's not about get rich quick. It's more about supporting their families and being able to provide, whether it may be sending some kids to school, private school, buying a new car for the family, buying their new home. So they're doing these jobs because they want to provide and support their family, which is all great, and I think is part of our lives. But what I did realize was where, for me, being obviously first generation born here, from my family came, I was immigrants from, and I was born here first, so they're from my family. A lot of us, I think, millennials that are from immigrant parents are in the same situation. We kind of came here, or we kind of were raised with kind of those mentality of just you have to work hard for your money, right? But we never were taught on how to really learn how to respect the money that we work for, right? So we're very keen on respect and honor and being loyal to our jobs and loyal to our employers, but we never really, or I would say we never taught how to be loyal to our money once we made it, right? And being able to respect it and provide that and work that for us in our benefit. And me being a victim of that myself, it's a lot easier to work and get it and find it and make it, right? But it's a lot harder to diligently plan and make that, once you've acquired it, make it work for you. it seems like a brainstorm. It seems like puzzling, and we don't even want to work at it. We don't even try. We don't even think about it. We just go back to the easy way, where it is to go out there and make money. Work 2 jobs or 3 jobs. I did it. Done it. I've worked 3 jobs when I was younger. Believe it or not. When I was 18 years old, I think I worked in 2 summer jobs and 1 perm after that. I think 1 year I had like 5 jobs. So there was nothing that, and I still was making minimum wage. So it's not like I was making a bunch of money, but I'm saying the jobs are out there. So obviously the jobs did not equal the wealth. It was more about what do you do after that? What do you do after you acquire, right? A lot of us, and these are things that I wish I learned when I was younger. The reason why I'm making this video is that you're young right now, right? Let's say you're in your mid-20s. You're making great salaries. Maybe you're making 6 figures. Life is good. You're not, most likely, you're not planning for 10 years out, right? You're planning for what you want to do now, what's going to feel good. You're getting advice from maybe coworkers or your company, and you're not really thinking about if you'll be in this job forever, right? And the reason why I want to make this quick video, and I want to keep on making my this week, there's going to be my weekly videos on how to really respect and appreciate our finances. And at the end of the day, I want to make one quick statement: we're not our money, right? We're not our title, we're not our possessions, but you want to respect what you have earned. All the money, like I've learned this from today from Kyle Cease, all the money you've made up to this point has been because of you. So you want to respect it and treat it as, I heard somebody on TikTok, one of the guys, I forgot his name, but he was saying you want to make money as your small employees, right? Every dollar is an employee, and you want to make it work for you, and let it grow for you, as opposed to you always having to go out there and make it. I worked so many different industries, kind of jobs, but I really worked long term in financing and banking, and in my last couple of years in building services, janitorial services, and all the industry that I've met. The older the generations, the less they care about, not care, but like the less how educated they are in how to have money work for money. Most of the time, they only know it's one concept: is work hard for your money. That's it. There's no other way about it. Anything else is too much, is too good to be true, it doesn't exist. Don't risk it. And I know if you're hanging around people like that, you're gonna be in a way inclined to think that way. I grew up with that mindset as well. My parents did, and I never really thought about it until now. And I'm in my mid-30s now, and I'm like, wow, if I would have done this in my mid-20s, the game would have been different for me now. But we can't go back in the past. We can't change it. It is what it is. But what I'm saying is, if you're in your mid-20s, you want to start respecting your money, your earnings, right? And it's not only about saving, right? A lot of us are diligent savers, very good, very disciplined. But as we know, I heard this also from another financial guy or lady. A lot of when I say guy, doesn't mean just a guy. It could be a lady as well. But money is motion, right? So I learned it the hard way. I was very disciplined. I saved, and I basically sacrificed certain things that I wanted and didn't get it, and just put the money away. But the money itself doesn't grow, according to inflation. And those that don't know what inflation is, most likely if you're watching this video, you know what it is. But obviously, the current inflation rate versus your money, if the rate is up, if the rate is above your money, whatever money you have, basically inflation is, if you bought a gallon of milk last year, it's most likely a little bit more expensive this year, and it keeps on going up every year, meaning your dollar is not worth the same year after year, so it loses its value. But in order to keep up with that current rate, most likely, for the most part, you have to put your money back into investments. You have to invest it. You have to put it to work for you. And I think personally, maybe this is my personal experience, but we're not taught a lot of that, especially if you're coming from, like I said, immigrant parents, unless your parents were very, very well off, very educated, and they came to this country with a plan, then yes. But for the most part, I think a lot of parents just came here to work their asses off. They came here to build something for themselves, and that started from, their hands, right, working, and saving. They were diligent savers. A lot of the parents that I've met, they're very good at saving, which I think our generations are not. But the parents that first came here, they just came here to work and save and put away and build for themselves. And for the most part, a lot of them were entrepreneurs. They came in to build something for themselves, and they built small businesses. They were part of the economy, but they never really, I think, for the most part, they're successful. I'm not saying they're not successful, but they never really learned or taught their kids on how to, once you've acquired your earnings and you worked hard for it, how to make that money work for them, and let it grow, and build for yourself, for the future, and for your family once you pass on. Like, have assets. And and I think is one of the hardest things, because obviously the society we live in now, there's so many things that we want to buy. I'm one of those, right? You want to buy the newest gadgets, right? The newest phone, the newest TV, pods, right? iPods, earpods, the newest car, the newest, sneakers, clothes. We have so many things we can. It's very easy to spend it, and I'm a witness to that. Very easy. It's very hard for most of us, to invest it. I think it's easy to, not that hard to save it, right? You become a diligent saver, you put that money away, you can kind of be disciplined, right? The hardest part is to make that money, put that money into an investment, because it takes assumption of some type of risk. And that's something that we're not willing to do when you worked hard for your money. Let's be honest. And I've been there. And the funny thing is, I was a fiduciary, as they call it, banker, and I was selling these products, and I never really bought any of the products because I didn't feel like I had enough money. I was still paying off my student loans. I still was, child care, had all these expenses that I didn't really have a lot of money at the end of the month. And I felt that, the best way for me at that time was just put some money in my 401k. I think it was like $100, maybe like $40 a week. It wasn't much, but once it came out of my money, I didn't expect to have it, so I wouldn't be able to spend it. And I felt like that was the best way I was gonna, invest. And lo and behold, I got a lot of. That's another story in it of itself. But my first video on finances and the financial change for our lives, and how to better ourselves, 5-10 years out. It doesn't have to be today, but 5 or 10 years out, is to first learn that eventually you want to shift from just working hard for your money, and then having that money, eventually you want to put it to work for you in a way that it will pay you back eventually, and you won't have to worry, in a sense, right? Like, our biggest fear obviously is you want to go out there and work, but you cannot, right? I had a surgery a couple of years back. I wanted to go out there and make money. I could not physically go out there because I had a surgery and I had to stay home. How many of us are in that situation? How many people are in that situation? It's not a lot of us. Some people are just permanently disabled. They can't go back to work for the rest of their lives. Maybe an accident, maybe an illness, maybe a disease they might have as long term. So I think our working years, we don't know. Nobody knows how long you're going to be able to work. Nobody knows if you might work for 30, 40. Nobody really knows how long they might be working for. So being diligent, being smart with what you're doing right now, what you're working with, will set, I think, us apart from just mindless working. So I love mindfulness. You watch my videos. I love being mindful of a lot of things. So I started to learn and to understand to being mindful while working. And if you're working somewhere that you don't like, especially, be mindful about that, and being more grateful, one, and also understanding, having the why, as they call it, and being there for a reason. If you're gonna make a certain amount of salary, fine. I don't believe in obviously chasing money, but if you're there just for a temporary situation to make that money and put it to work for you, great. If you're there to make that money and do something else mindlessly about it, then you're kind of just repeating that cycle. And you're going to be stuck in that cycle for a long time. And I think eventually you want to start that. If you're somewhere where you don't want to be, you want to eventually get out of that. So the only way you could, I think personally, is either you win the lottery, which is a long shot, or you start educating yourself and really understanding finances and understanding that it's investing for the long run is what we got to start doing in order for us to eventually not have to do that forever. And coming from experience, having parents that never really explained this to me, that never really talked about it, I don't think they ever did it in their lives. They might have invested in they probably bought a home at that time, or they maybe started their own business. But as far as like learning about, funds, index funds, real estate, stock market, bonds in general, it was never really talked about in my house that I know of, and it never really explained to me. So if you're watching this video, I hope you're gonna get education of this. Stay tuned for my next video where I really break down what the starter pack I think is for us to use before we do all of these investing, understanding the foundations of investing. And it has nothing to do with investing first and foremost. So keep on watching. I'll see you next video. Peace.